Welcome back, Gary Ball with Mike Meehan, as always, on the Coaches Show out here at Rafferty's Restaurants. Rafferty's, I tell you, always good food out here, Coach.
Everything's good. Like I mentioned before, it's the most eclectic restaurant in Lexington. You can get anything here.
Yep.
It's always good, and the service is always good too.
Well, with us in studio, defending state champion, 15-0, Sayre Spartans. How's that sound, Coach?
Well, the state champion piece sounds really sweet. The defending, we don't believe in that.
Okay.
Because it's completely wide open. But, you know, it was a special year in 2024. It really was. Just the entire year was just very unique. And I always say we caught lightning in a bottle. And just being able to stay healthy, number one, develop a few key pieces that we weren't expecting. And then just to be on a kind of a magic carpet ride with some amazing seniors that just had a competitive will about them that I haven't seen in a lot of high schoolers, and so locked in and focused. You always hear coaches talk about one day at a time and one play at a time. You hear all this coach speak, and this is one of the first teams that I've ever played on or coached on that truly took that to heart. I mean, they lived it out every day. And that was really the reason to our success, because they enjoyed coming to practice, coming to workouts, like everything about what we were doing, they really enjoyed it. And even so much so when we won the championship, Brock Kaufman looks at me and is like, Coach, I don't know what to do. I'm just ready to go to 10 o'clock workouts tomorrow morning, you know? And so that was the type of focus that team had, which was really special.
Well, it also special when you have a quarterback like Cohan Luke engineering the offense. I mean, he was so cool. And you had some talent now. You mentioned Brock Kaufman. You had Charlie Slayball.
Yes.
I mean, he could run the ball. And who was the other receiver you had that year, Coach, last year?
Well, we had Camonte Braxton, who's
Yeah.
going to play at center. Chase Parker was our ex. You mentioned Charlie, and he was he may have been the most valuable player because he was the quarterback of the defense as a Mike linebacker, extremely smart, and his competitive desire and how he ran the football really set the tempo for us. I remember Coach McNamee, after we beat Pikeville, he said, we did not realize how good number one was, and that was Charlie. And he just dominated the game defensively, and then in the fourth quarter of a lot of different games, he was able to seal the deal with his running ability, which a lot of people would get caught up in all of our passing stuff, but in the fourth quarter we were able to put games away because we could run the football.
Yeah, Gary and I have followed your program right from the beginning when they first established football at Sayre, which was just an exciting time. And then the facility you have out there and just the whole bit. Tell me a little bit about your scrimmage this year. Did you have 2 scrimmages?
We did. We went and scrimmaged Lafayette. We did a NFL style practice with them where we were situational, first and second down, third down, red zone. Coach Lawson and I kind of put that together, thought we got some really good work against each other that way. And then we went down to Breathitt County last week and definitely got tested, ran into some injuries. So we're trying to work through all of that, and certainly being a single A team, that's hard because numbers are not on your side. And so just trying to kind of work through that and see if we can weather the storm.
We say Henry Clay had 100 people out.
102 people out for the football team.
You don't see that, do you?
No.
I'm very fortunate. We've got around 130 boys in the school, and I've got 46 on our team.
That's
so
pretty darn
I
good.
can't complain.
No.
But from a depth perspective, you lose a couple guys, it kind of changes things.
Yeah.
Well, you've got some talent. You mentioned Gage Pennington. He's a junior quarterback. Bo Perry's a senior quarterback. They'll both play, you told me.
Yeah.
Both play.
I had a great conversation with both those kiddos and Coach Perry last night. And I've been in that situation before. And I've always appreciated when coaches were upfront, honest, laid out the plan, and let's go execute the plan. So that's what I did with Bo and Gage and just talked them through it. I think our team is unique this year. When I say it's going to take all of us to be successful, it really is. Even at the quarterback position, because both of those guys play defense too. We're a single A ball team. So Bo's the starting Sam linebacker. And Gage this week is going to have to play free safety. So, to be able to go into the game knowing I've got 2 guys that if one needs a break or if we got a package for one, I can do that. gives us more flexibility offensively.
One player that I really like, Coach, he really came on for you last year. I think he's due for a really big year, is John Luke Minner. That kid has got a motor that won't quit. He's a heck of a player, and I think he'll have a big year for you.
Yeah, I'm excited about him. I think he can help us on both sides of the ball. I think, one of the things that I think his family has done a great job of in his recruiting process now that he's committed to Brown, they were very realistic about where he was in his development, because he certainly has the body. And he did not play at all his sophomore year. He was out of sports for 16 months with a back. And so they've been very smart in the development piece, been very realistic, want to make sure that he's developing academically and athletically. And so I'm really excited about him going to Brown. I think the Ivy League is really starting to capture some really good players.
Charlie Slayball went there for baseball.
Exactly. And one of the pieces that the Ivy League kind of markets to their student athletes is, especially football, come here, let us develop you, be an all-conference player, get your Ivy League degree, and then you'll still have another year to go play elsewhere.
Yeah.
That's a big marketing tool that they're using, and a lot of kids love that.
Good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Yeah.
One of the things I've always been curious about, Coach, the logistics of your off-season program. Your facility is way out there, your football field. I like that area, by the way. I really that soccer stadium. Holy.
I like it because it's close to where I live.
Yeah. But and then you're downtown, the school. So what's the logistics of your off-season program?
Sure. So what we did was, coming out of COVID, we kept our COVID schedule. So for every student, that E-hour is what they call it, which is that 8 o'clock hour every day, is study hall. So classes don't start until around 9. Well, what that allowed us to do is we've got 2 small rooms at the end of the gymnasium that we turned into weight rooms, a dumbbell room and then a power room. And so I'm able to have 7 o'clock workouts, and I've got stations. We'll do a power rack station, we'll do a dumbbell station, we'll do some movement on the gym floor. I can get my kids worked out by 7:45. They take showers, they can go to study hall, see a tutor or whatever. And 80% of my team are multiple sport athletes.
Yes.
And so then that allows them to go play their spring sport or their winter sport in the afternoon. So it's worked out really well. I think our coaches do a really good job of working together so that the kids don't feel like they have to specialize or pick a sport. I'm 49 years old and trying to figure out what to do with the rest of my life. I don't think it's fair to ask a 16-year-old to specialize. And so I think our school does a really good job of that. So that's how we execute that plan.
And you've done a really good job, too, of developing not only quarterbacks. I mean, you're a former quarterback, and you developed Cole. He became a really good quarterback. He's down at Liberty right now.
Gardner Webb.
Gardner Webb.
Yep.
Sorry about that. And then you developed your Luke, who's now at Dayton.
Correct.
And now Gage. There's always been a pennant in the quarterback, right?
There has, and that's one of the reasons I'm still coaching. But our staff, even last night in our meeting, we're constantly talking about that development piece, from the best player on the team all the way down to the youngest player, the freshman. And what does that development look like? What are we doing in practice? What's our drill sets look like? What are the fundamentals? Because I think, especially in today's football, we get so scheme oriented, we forget about the fundamentals that are going to execute the schemes, especially as you move later into the season. And so our staff does a really good job of always keeping that on the forefront of our conversations. How are we developing guys so they can continue to improve?
And the fact that you have 50 kids on the team, a Class A school, technique is more important than anything, really.
Yes.
Leverage on offensive line, defensive line, angles and all that. By far, that's what you need to concentrate on, because if they do that stuff right, you're going to be in the games.
100%. And then through the scheme, they learn why they're doing what they're doing. There's not enough time to prepare them for every eventuality. But if they understand why and they have the fundamentals in their toolbox to execute that, they'll make the adjustment on the run for you, even if they haven't seen the look, because they understand why they're being asked to do what they do.
Right.
They're not just robots. They're not just learning how or what. Okay, this is why Coach wants me to do it this way. So we really focus on that piece as well.
You mentioned how the team really garnered and loved the atmosphere, practice, and games and stuff. Loved playing for you last year. And I say that because when you look at the boosters at Sayre, the people that help the program, You know that's better than anybody, Coach Bennington. They're really, really good people.
Yes.
I mean, they'll do whatever you want them to do and need, they'll do it for you.
Our football families have been unbelievable, and we talk about this a lot. We talk about how it's a true partnership, that I've got the blessing but also a huge responsibility to work with the most important person in their life, and that's their son. And so that's a blessing but also a big responsibility that we can't take lightly. And so that partnership is so important, that communication with those families and understanding what we need to talk about, and whether it be an injury or in the classroom or whatever. And so we're constantly working on that relationship to where they feel supported, because they spend a lot of time with me, right? And so they've got to feel comfortable that the person that their kid is spending a lot of time with, that he's got their best interest at heart. And so we work on that a lot, have a lot of conversations about that. And we always say this: the school provides the opportunity, but we as families provide the experience. And that's what's really important when you're trying to build a program.
Yeah, and I like the fact that I'm talking to a lot of these other coaches that came in here today. A lot of their concentration is just building men, because honestly, we need that so bad, Coach. We really do.
Right.
And I think football is one of the best ways to do that. And I've seen it with my sons, and I've seen it with other people that I've seen who had sons on the team.
Yes.
You have that responsibility with your sons. But I remember specifically getting really upset at my son, who was a center, my first son, oldest son, and I just said some things to him during practice. And my assistant coaches after the game said, you talk to your son like that? Of course, me being, yeah, he's just a member of the team. He's like everybody
That's
else.
right, yeah.
But on the way home in the car, I told my son, I said, look, don't tell your mom I said all that stuff to you. Because
Right.
we know who the boss
Right.
is.
Yes. Well, one of the things, one of my best friends who I played college ball with, and he always says, football requires more than most are willing to give. And that's why I think it's so unique as a sport. You've got to be willing to give it all, and that's the only way you can be successful.
Yeah. Well, we certainly know that the season so far, Coach. Look at your schedule. I want to talk about one player before we talk about your schedule.
Sure.
Wyatt Moore, the big young man, has really come in and asserted himself on that offensive line.
Very excited and proud of him. He's been a 4-year starter now. This will be his 4th year starting. Came in very young, very new to the game as a freshman, and has just completely taken one step at a time each year and developed into a really nice player. And now we're asking, for him to do some things defensively as well. So I'm excited to see where his trajectory goes with his recruiting and things. He just got offered by the University of Dayton as well. And he's one of those guys that I think is on the rise and can really do some good things, not only on the high school level, but certainly in college.
I'm going to say kudos to you, Coach, and your coaching staff. You had a player by the name of Bernard a couple years ago. I played a lot of tennis with him, grew up with him, knew his father, Bill, the vet, and everything. And you really developed him. He became a pretty good football player, Coach.
Yeah.
Good enough to go to college.
And Jack didn't start playing until he's in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And right. And so I think that's one of our goals, is to allow kids and provide them the experience to get so excited about the game that they just love being a part of it. They love being a part of the brotherhood and everything that's about it. And being at Sayre and having that Sayre diploma then opens up doors and opportunities for kids that may not get into a school as a student but can get in as a football player.
And you get a lot of them in the Ivy League schools. So,
Correct.
Ditto, rest my case.
Yeah,
so to
really,
speak.
that's it.
Well, look at this schedule, Coach. They open up with Kentucky Country Day. That's a pretty good football team.
Yes, it is.
Bishop Brossett, pretty good team.
Good team.
Williamsburg, Bracken County, a pretty good football team.
Very physical, yes.
And Newport, Holy Cross, Berea, Frankfort, Eminence, and Middlesboro. Coach, we'll be out there for one of those games, I'm sure. King, if King help me out here, we're going to be out at Sayre, King?
I hope so. I hope Chad
Oh,
have us.
okay. Yeah, we'll be out there if you'll have us. And,
Absolutely.
But you got a good schedule, Coach.
We're proud of the schedule, and the reason that we are is that obviously when you come off a 15-0 state championship team, a lot of teams don't want to play you anymore.
Right.
And we were able to build a schedule that has 9 upper echelon single A teams with 1 double A team. So we're still able to play apples to apples. And I know sometimes people want to see us play a 4A, 5A school, and that's okay for that week, but it doesn't do us any good from a development standpoint as well as an injury standpoint, because for us, we're going to have 6 to 8 kids that take the brunt of the game physically, where when you play a 5A school, they've got 26 kids that take the brunt of the game physically. So it's, although you may win, you may not come out of there truly winning for the next week, the district play or the playoffs. And so to be able to schedule those 9 upper echelon single A teams, they're all top quality programs, been there, done that, all tough in the playoffs.
Well-coached teams.
Well-coached teams, exactly.
Yeah, looking at Bracken County, they say they
yes.
got the best team they've ever had in their school coming back
yes,
this year.
Got a really good running back, very physical. We have to go there. And to be honest with you, we played them in week 2 last year, and that was a game that showed us that, yes, we could be physical with the Pikeville, with the Raceland. Bracken County proved that to us.
You needed that too going to the playoffs with the victory you had finally over Pikeville.
Yes.
But anyway, Coach, you got anything else for Coach?
No, I'm just we're excited about watching your team again this year and watch another Pennington at quarterback. Is he a shotgun type guy or under center type guy?
Well, we do mostly shotgun anyway. I'd love to be 65-35 shotgun to underneath if I could. I will say, being the third child, he's scrappy. I mean, he took 2 crazy hits last week in Breathitt County that you should not get up from, and he bounced up. And so that's just that third child mentality. Yeah. Sometimes I've got to back him off a little bit.
Used to Cold and Luke hitting on him, he get back up from anybody.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm excited to see what he does, and I've got to be patient with him because he doesn't have the experience on Friday night. So we've got to work through a lot of those things and allow him to be baptized by fire, if you will.
Well, we hope we get to see your team.
Well, yeah, before you get away, let's talk real quickly about your assistant coaches, because they are a big part of any program, and I know you're really proud of your assistant coaches. Really
am, and been very fortunate when we've lost people to other going to other places or whatever it may be. We've been able to replace them, and so first starts with Brian Washington, former head coach, salt of the earth guy. I'd really rely on him because he's been there as a head coach and just really so much wisdom there.
Yep.
And he has so much humility. Josh Smith is back with us as associate head coach in D-line, O-line. Very versatile as a young coach in his mid-30s, and does a really good job helping us with logistics and things like that. Was able to bring in Marty Moore this year. So Marty's on our staff coaching outside linebackers and tight ends and giving us that expertise. Really excited about him kind of getting,
good addition.
Yes, getting back into the fold. Now he's going to go watch Mason play on Saturdays and things, but he's there throughout the week to really help us, give us that extra veteran leadership from a coaching standpoint. And I've got 2 young coaches that I'm really excited about. Aaron Maggard, who played at Georgetown College, was a record breaker there. This is his 2nd year with us, working with wide receivers, DB. Is going to allow him to coach, be the offensive coordinator of our JV team, which has helped develop him. And then Kamari Carey, who was at Eastern Kentucky, Western Michigan. And so, those guys coming fresh off the field, they can give me a unique player perspective and maybe some things drill-wise and things that they've learned coming off the field that really helps us. So I think we've got a good dynamic of veteran coaches, young coaches, and we try to piece all that together.
Well, you open it up this Friday at Sayre Athletic Complex. They're off of what is that, Old Richmond Road or what?
Canebrake, 300 Canebrake Drive, right off of Richmond Road, yes.
Kentucky Country Day is your opponent, and good luck against them, Coach. Thanks for joining us on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
That's Chad Pennington, the fine coach of Sayre, the Spartans, 15-0 state champions last year. They have another good team this year. Thanks to all the coaches for joining us on the Coaches Show tonight. We appreciate it, Coach. Any final thoughts?
I've enjoyed it. I always enjoy it. It gets you really excited for high school football this year. We've been doing it for a while.
Yep.
We love every minute of it. So
how long have you been doing this, Coach? Radio and TV.
Well, let's see. I'm 100 years old.
Let's see, about 17 years?
Yeah, I think so.
I've been doing this
2009.
I started in 1984. It's my 41st year, Coach. That's a long time. That's almost as long as you've been alive, Chad Pennington. Well, thank you, Chad. The fine coaches, Sarah. You do a great job. of getting your team ready. I know you do a good job this year. Jake Bernard was a really good friend, and he really spoke highly of you, Coach. And we wish the Spartans the best. We'll be back. We'll be with you Friday. I'm going to say this. We got the ecampus.com bowl. Doubleheader. First game, 5:30, will be Bryan Station as they take on South Warren. That's Brandon Smith's ball club. Right. Brandon Smith said he never gets here around this area. I say, even to see your father, Chuck? But his father's Chuck Smith. But he said, yeah, he does. Anyway, and the second game will be LCA as they take on North Hard, right? Right?
Yep. Right.
Yep, that's it.
Right.
So join us Friday, 5:30 with Bryan Station, South Warren. Until then, thanks for listening and watching the Coaches Show. Thanks to Clark's Pump and Shop, UK Healthcare, Mingy Beef Jerky, and Roberts Insurance out in Richmond, Kentucky. On Main Street, they insure 3/4 of the state of Kentucky. And BSN Sports. Thanks for watching the Coaches Show and Prep Spin Podcast.
If you're dealing with a sports injury, UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine is here to help you get back on your feet. Ranked as high performing by US News and World Report, the same physicians who take care of UK athletes are here to offer expert sports medicine care for you and your family. UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, official healthcare provider for the KHSAA.